let's try something real quick, fellas. Right, because we kind of talking about it, right? About who's doing what, who's understood. So, I brought up just now, 100 Black Men of America. They have a chapter in St. Louis, right? And it's a mentoring program and etc. Right? Let me see if we can call them to see what they're saying about this shooting. Mr. Fantastic, do you remember what you were gonna talk about in terms? You said a girl did what?
The girl that died in the freezer amongst all her black friends.
What's her name?
I think it was Jenkins. Something Jenkins.
Yeah, I think so.
Where was Ben Crump on that? Where was any black civil rights on that? See, when we have these black mysteries,
the mom got paid.
Of course, the mom got paid, but all of the people were black.
Yeah, but
she ended up suing. I think. No, it did. It never got solved. It never got solved.
I don't think.
Okay, so
she got a suit. She got a suit from. She sued the hotel or whatever the girl ended up dying at.
So it got rectified.
Same thing with the case. Same thing with the case of where the girl went out of town to Mexico, and the friends beat the shit out of her and killed her, and nobody went to jail for that. Niggas talked about it for like a week. No, brother, they were American citizens on vacation in Mexico. What do you mean?
Okay, but my point is this: if it's in another jurisdiction, wouldn't that make it harder to solve a case like that? Did they not solve that?
No, nobody went to jail.
Because of what? What was the reason?
Brother, I have no idea.
Okay, so those things matter. What about the black girl that died to the white guy in Tanzania? They said it's a sword. See, my point is this: I'm not taking my eyes. I'm not taking my eyes all the way off to some place and out of the United States. I'm looking at within. Of course, I expect the case to be more complicated if it happens outside of your United States jurisdiction because there's no telling what happened. I don't know how that works, but I do know every single time that there is something bad happening in the United States and it involves black people, it will be shown and it will be highlighted and we will know about it. That's guaranteed.
No, this ain't. Hold on. This not national news. I just happened to come across this.
What's on national news?
The story recovering.
Yeah, the Nolan Wells story?
No. The 5 people getting killed, Cheeky.
Yeah, it's a like I said, I called it out. It's
what Miss Fantastic doing. Wait, Sean, before you go. Wait, y'all keep trying to jump over that. So something
I'm trying to address it. I'm addressing it directly, but I'll let you go. Then I'll go at the
something that's of equal like importance and outrageousness of so on and so forth. This isn't being covered nationally. Why? Because it's just niggas.
Right, but just because that may not be covered nationally, we acting like the majority. They can't cover all things black. That's bad.
So why do you always? And this is my point. This is my point. They feed you. The media feeds you anything interracial.
Yes. But Cheeky, yes. Because that's the news is in the business to make money. Yes. So they know the type of cases that will generate money. Yes, Miss Fantastic. You're exactly right. That's what the media does. The media is very perverse. Now let's talk about what you really want to talk about. Like I said, this what you doing. Well, y'all don't talk about this case. It's an old tactic, brother. That's why I introduced W.E.B. Du Bois. Because what you're trying to do now is create this racialized moral accountability where if black people don't have a catalog of all the crimes that are heinous, if we don't talk about all of them, that somehow speaks to our moral ineptness. That's what I'm saying. Ineptness. Well, that's what I'm saying.
So I guess my question is, Sean, the Ben Crumps of the world, right? They're there to get money. These are civil suits. Is it just simply that there is no money in black on black violence?
Yeah, it's not like it's not interesting to people. It's not even interesting to black people, right? Because here's the part about it, right? And when I say about black people, I'm saying, so for instance, Miss Fantastic could have done some research to see are there any violence prevention programs on the ground in East St. Louis addressing these issues. No, they don't want to do that. They want to do what everybody else does. Point out to how this case hasn't been high profile, then that means black people don't care. But they don't do their due diligence to see what are the people in that community doing on the ground to deal with this problem. What are the people in Atlanta on the ground dealing with the issues that are going on? They never have that information. Because what you'll find is around America, there are small organizations that are trying to help fix their communities, but they don't get national attention. But it's up to black people in Florida to be aware of what's happening in East St. Louis, and if they're not, then Big Crump shouldn't be able to come in front of the media and talk about a high profile case.
Well, I'm not even talking about people in Florida. I'm talking about hell, at least people in Missouri.
But you don't know what's going on, Miss Fan. You don't know what's going on, Miss Fan.
They don't, bro. I don't listen. Listen, what I'm talking about, right? Listen, I'm telling you this, right? So we know I'm in Florida. Jacksonville down here, some asshole just shot his baby mama and killed his kid like a week ago. You heard about that case?
No, I haven't.
Of course not, right? Let me see. I'm trying to think.
But you have because you're in Jacksonville, so that makes sense. It makes sense that I wouldn't know about it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it is a whenever the white dudes kill their whole family or some shit or injure their family, that make national news, right? That's something that white people. I definitely heard a whole lot more of them than whatever. When the white man goes crazy and he motherfucking kill his whole fucking family himself.
Did you hear about the white man that cut his penis off and lit it on fire and threw it in the garage?
Yeah, I actually did. I saw that.
That didn't make national news.
But that's weird. News. That's weird news though, Shad. I mean, that's not anything. Whatever. That's some weirdo shit. That's not. So if we're talking about the loss of life and we're talking about violence against other people, so what I'm saying is this, and you actually said the main point, Shad. You just gave me the whole argument. Okay. Niggas don't care. Black people don't find interest in other black people dying at the hand of black people. We don't care. Like you said, we don't care. Now, once the white person get involved, now everybody care. Everybody feel away. Fucking Lou. Hey, y'all know who Lou Nail is? Who's Lou Nail? Everybody put a one in the chat if you know who Lou Nail is. Lou Nail just crashed out on the motherfucking interview, and this old bitch talking about, I was so mad over the Miles case. She used that case as an excuse for her fucking deplorable behavior, bro. This is how far niggas go. This is what I'm saying. This is my point. This is my point, bro. This is what I'm saying. We don't care. A part of it, I understand awareness. There's no way, Shad, I can know what's going on in Atlanta right now. I don't live in Atlanta. I don't watch the Atlanta local news. So if Atlanta news don't make it, or I don't got somebody that's boots on the ground in the streets of Atlanta, and pick state here, city, whatever, Memphis, Detroit, all these other violent places, so on and so forth, whatever. Right? I don't know. You're correct, right? But what I'm saying is niggas don't care, bro. We don't. You said it. Like, we didn't even got to argue it. You said it. These words came out of your mouth, bro.
Nah, you misconstruing my sentiment, but go ahead.
I'm misconstruing. Right. That's what you said.
I'll clarify.
So please construe it for us, brother. Please construe it.
Yeah, because like I said again, right, like this racialized moral accountability, because we want black people to be superhuman and be better than everybody else that exists in the world. Yeah, violence for the most part is localized. So again, that's why I'm challenging you to go see what's happening on the ground. Are there any institutions? Are there any people who are doing things to prevent violence in that community? Because to now put that burden on every black person in America to be aware of all the crime in America is bullshit. But it's not a new tactic. It's been going on. That's why I said this double consciousness. We got to be aware of to be black, but we also, because your only concern is, I don't want people to look at us in a bad light. That's just how I feel about it, man. If it's that y'all will say it's because y'all care. No, that ain't why. It's because y'all want people to look at us a certain way. Because you said it before. This is why people say this about us. I've heard. Yeah, you said this. So yeah, I can't get that out. I can't get that out of my mind. That when you analyze black people, there's a part of your brain concerned about what other people think about you. And when I mean by other people, I mean other groups of people, not black people. You concerned about how other people think about it. That's a problem.
No. Well, yeah, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's a huge understanding of social dynamics and the importance of, especially if you see yourself as a marginalized group, and how you have to have a certain, outside perception that's going to favor you versus hinder you.
I agree.
Very important.
I agree.
All right. So if you agree with me saying it,
yeah, but see, that's the part. I just talked about it. I just talked about double consciousness.
That's secondary.
I just talked about that.
Well, that's secondary though, right? That's secondary. Well, I'm speaking for myself, so you didn't mention. So I'm gonna speak up for me, right? So, but that's secondary, Shad. What I actually do care about is I care about innocent people getting caught up in criminal shit. Now, she could have been motherfucking the Black Griselda Blanco, but I highly doubt it. I don't like grandmas getting shot. I don't like babies getting shot. I don't like innocent people getting caught up in street shit. That's my problem. The streets are the streets. The streets are always going to exist. The criminal aspects will always exist. Some reason for us though, Shad, though, this shit end up to where people that ain't got nothing to do with the street shit. HAMP, How many people got killed in the Philly shit we covered?
I think 4 people.
3 or 4.
Like
3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
Let's say 3. Let's knock it down to 3. Shot. People just chilling, having a good time, whatever, kicking it, doing shit that young people do. A shootout happened, and one of the boys was in a wheelchair, right? Hamp? The boy got hit in a wheelchair.
That was his second time getting shot, but he died this time.
Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? So shot. That's what I care about. My thing is, and there's never going to be. I don't believe, and I'm not dumb to where I think there's going to be a perfect world, shot. That's why I'm saying how I'm saying it. There's always going to be a criminal element, right? But my shit is, bro, for us, because we want to, ain't no black on black crime, and you want to blame the black people. When we can't have the conversation, this is why those very they're not enough crime prevention programs. Well, you just want to look good for the white folks. No, I want less black people to die over shit that ain't got nothing to do with. But it's automatically the former rather than the latter, because what you worried about niggas dying for? As you said yourself, niggas don't care.
I wish you would start doing it, but it's cool. I appreciate him giving me the platform to clarify when y'all do the YouTube thing. Because what I keep saying, I keep using this word care. And again, right, like, okay, cool, I could just accept that, but then that means I would have to ignore the people who actually cared in their actions. I'm saying niggas like you and most niggas that have these microphones don't do nothing but talk about what's going on. Your care stops once the record button stops. Because I'm saying, cool, how many prevention organizations are you a part of in your community? How many?
None.
That's what I'm saying, right? So I'm not saying you a bad dude, like you like to put on black people, but I'm saying your care is to pick and choose news articles to then paint a blanket statement on black people. That's problematic, because in these small hotspot areas of crime, this is somehow an indication of what black people do, and we know that's not the case. So when I'm saying people don't care, I'm saying, yes, I'm acknowledging the majority of people ain't trying to fix nothing. They never have been. That's never been the case. It's always been a few. It's always been a mighty few trying to save everybody, and that's still the case now. So I guarantee you, when you do your due diligence, as you say you do, I'm willing to put some bread up. You will find people in that community that are trying to prevent the violence that is going on.
No, that's self-explanatory. We know that there's always going to be somebody doing something. What I'm saying is this, though, right? Because those people aren't respected, because those people aren't lauded, because those people aren't supported. That's why it's so few and far between of them. Because niggas don't care. Again, we have a whole internet personality because of this now, Shad.
So I'm saying, are you the niggas that don't care? Or you niggas that care? Which one are you then? Which one are you?
Who is he? Hold on. We have a whole internet personality now because of this. That was birth of this. Charleston White said, hey, man, I was out here doing everything I was supposed to be doing. I had the fucking prevention. I had the programs. I was doing this. I was doing that. I had a suit and tie. You niggas didn't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. You didn't care. You didn't support me. You didn't give me no money. So now what? Fuck it. Now I get out here and I get disrespectful and I say all this wild and crazy shit and so on and so forth. And, that's what happens to a lot of people, Shad. And again, I'm not saying you do that for the glory. You do that for the money. There's no support because, again, your original statement that you said, by mistake, you know what I'm saying? The truth slipped out. Niggas don't care.
No, I didn't say it by mistake. You trying to twist it into something else.
I'm not trying to twist it, Shad. I'm just simply what you saying verbatim, brother. And again, that's the wonderful thing about the truth. It's going to come to the surface. We've had too many people that tell you this, and people get burnt out. And people, Shad, I have no incentive, none. Okay, I have absolutely no incentive to motherfucking get out here and waste my time, my resources, hell, risk my life, do any of this shit when I know niggas don't care. So you know what I'm gonna do, Shad? I'm gonna do my part in making sure that my child, right, is a good example. My child goes out here and he represents us in a good way. My child goes out here and he's not committing crimes. My child goes out here. So I'm definitely doing my part, brother. I'm doing my part because I'm not adding to the fucking nonsense, and I'm creating a culture, and I'm creating fucking, morals and values and a representative as to where people are going to see us in the way we need to be seen. So that's another thing that gets lost too. Because if you're not a boots on the ground and you're not in you're not doing nothing. No, brother, I'm doing some shit every day. I'm doing shit just off the strength of not being out here, being in the nigga shit, being in the criminality, shooting grandmas and kids and innocent bystanders.
If that is the case, wouldn't it be more impactful or more reason for a Ben Crump or anybody to highlight a situation where a kid who is doing all the things that you're saying is a great thing, he didn't commit any crimes, he didn't do anything, blah, say blah, 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 blah. He should get justice. Shouldn't we elevate that? And if we're going to start doing things based off of news articles, did you hear what happened on July 4th where a white man killed his entire family?
I just talked about it.
Okay, which one? Because there's several.
Well, I don't know which one. Shit, I'm pretty sure it's several grandmas that got shot too. Cheeky shit.
Okay, but that's the point. The point is this: we can find a news story on anything that we want on any holiday or any day we choose, but we always, or not say we, black people that have a platform that lean a certain way tend to always highlight the niggas. So instead of doing that, for example, a perfect example of what I think is a great example is HAMP. HAMP didn't highlight some Chicago shooting that happened. He highlighted a boxing coach, just a normal guy with a very abnormal history and situation, highlighted what he does, highlighted his involvement in the community, and goes, "Hey, coach, tell me how you got here. Tell me what you're doing. What does that require? Are you a rich man? Are you a man that just have a whole bunch of money? Tell me what you have." Man, I don't have much, but I make do with what I got. And I'll make sure I'm involved. There's somehow, some way, there's a solution to what it is that we're saying is a problem, which is highlighting the things that matter or highlighting the people in that area. But yet you're saying, well, highlighting the bad things or highlighting the negativity is going to do what?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Cheeky.
Let's try something real quick, fellas. Right? Because we kind of talking about it, right? About who's doing what, who's understood. So I brought up just now 100 Black Men of America. They have a chapter in St. Louis, right? And it's a mentoring program and etc. Right? Let me see if we can call them and see what they're saying about this shooting. Hold on one second. Let's see if somebody answers.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling,
you can hear it
I'll
good.
See if this person is available.
Yeah.
Hampton, Watson. This might be risky.
Thanks, see. Hampton Watson. Please stay on the line.
Think they're gonna pick up for us?
I mean, you did this before they did.
So
I'm sorry, this person is not available. If you would like to leave an additional message, please reply after the tone.
How you doing? This is DJ Hamp. We are concerned citizens regarding the shooting in East St. Louis that left 7 people shot, 5 people dead. I was once a member of 100 Black Men of America in Washington, D.C. So I would like to speak with you guys ever so briefly in regards to what's being done, how we confronting that shooting, and what's happening in the community. Please give me a call back at your earliest convenience at the number I call from. Thank you. All right. Maybe we'll get a call back. Damn. So, what is it then? What are we actually arguing? One thing that I think got slightly glossed over is why is the community and how it's seen, right? Only, like we say, this is the culture. Mr. Fantastic, right? I want to go back to that. Cheeky wasn't quite here yet. Is the culture the crime or is the culture Morehouse? Like, what is, when we say the culture, is it the crime or is it Morehouse? Like, how do we, what's our summary of that? You know what I'm saying? Because that we kind of like went past that a little bit, you know? Like, is the culture of Washington, D.C. the crime, or is it all the museums and all the black-owned businesses and et cetera, et cetera? Like, what is how do we, when we look at the culture of a city, how do we, like, how do we define that?
Well, it all depends. It depends, right? I think if the city is a violent city, it's always going to come up in the discussion. I think it's inevitable, and I think it's reasonable because if I'm telling somebody to come to Jacksonville, right, and they do these things where they tell them go to motherfucking like Latanya Gardens or some shit or so on and so forth. Hey, yeah, man, somebody told me I should go there. No, brother, that was a troll thing. Do not take your ass over there, brother. So I think a lot of people don't understand because, like you said, to Shad's point, even though, bro, now I know Shad lives there now, and I never lived in Atlanta, but bro, I was going to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, since 80 something, right? You know, we religiously went to Atlanta like every year because it's like an hour away from Macon, right? And I know visiting there is not, but the post is not that far different. You know what I'm saying? Some shit happened in Atlanta, niggas hear about it in fucking Georgia if it's big enough for the most part. Shaw, you weren't there yet, but if you guys remember, there was a kid that stole a car and he went up to fucking Atlanta. He got killed. I want to say it was either like late 90s or early 2000s. That made everybody was talking about that shit because, hey, it was what it was. But just that context, right? The thing, Hamp, is what I'm saying is if the city has a violence problem, people are going to talk about that problem because that's something you need to be aware of, and it's something that I hope we want to reduce, and I think for the most part we want to reduce, especially again when it's something like this. Ham, like I said, this is I ain't heard. Listen, we all hear about, you know what I'm saying, random shootings or accidental shootings. This was a targeted fucking hit, Ham. As you said, this ain't no fucking joke, bro. This is this needs to. I know they have the people in custody, but the how, why? Because you orchestrate seven people hit 3 different locations. How do you know where these people are? What you had to do canvassing, you had to do scouting, you had to lay in the bushes, you might have put an air tag on a motherfucker, and it's 2 motherfuckers. So if it's 2 motherfuckers, we know it can't be all of them happening at the same time because that means, hey, one happened at one location, it's 3 different locations. So how are we orchestrating this? This is what I'm saying. But again, me just even asking the question, right, and making a comparison to one black guy dying because white folks involved. Well, why does it happen? Because we're automatically subconsciously taught not to care when niggas kill niggas. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I think we're the biggest victims of this. Go ahead.
Is it desensitization? Because it's
I don't even think it's desensitization. Because as you say all the time, Hamp, it's less people dying now than in the 90s. You say this all the time.
Yeah.
So I think we get more of a thing, but from the news and maybe social media, right? But I don't think it's a desensitization. I think it's just we're taught as a culture is like, hey, it is what it is. The game is the game. Unfortunately, I really think that's the problem.
So
I don't think that's the problem, man.
I want to ask this question, Cheek, and you can address what you don't think is the problem. I just want to put this in the atmosphere, and you can say what you was gonna say. If I didn't watch the news, I wonder what my outlook would be on Chicago. Like if I was dropped in Chicago, like when I went there, Cheeky can attest. The food was trash. So that was a lie. They said the food was good. The food was not good. So they told the truth about that part. But just the parts we went to, and I had to drive like, Love C scooped me, I had to drive like 40 minutes. And you don't see none of this shit. So I just wonder what would people's summary be of Chicago just going there. I wonder what
say it's just a city, bro. They would just say it's a city. They would just say it's a city. Just like when you go to Orlando, when you go to and this is why it frustrates me and it blows my mind and why I think it's not a problem. It's not that we don't care, it's just because we keep getting pushed stuff and black people that actually are around other black people or live, they be like, no, nigga, that's not it. Every single time we know, anytime, anything you think about black people never really come from black people that's from that place. It's always somebody that's zooming in on a certain area and then going, well, that's the problem. And then we try to figure out what's wrong with our image or why black people's image is this. It's because we have people that want to continuously highlight it and then go, well, I'm just saying the truth. No, you're highlighting things very intentionally, or it comes across intentionally, that the news or whatever they keep pushing, but when you go there yourselves, you don't ever see the stuff we be talking about. Hell, we went to a beach. There's a beach in Chicago. Do people know that?
I didn't know that.
You see what I'm saying? There's so much more to Chicago than whatever is presented versus the things that we like to highlight, and then say that it's our culture and not separate that and go, it's criminal culture, and then be the same people that say we're the people that allow all the culture, or we accept all the culture. No, we don't. Nobody accepts criminal culture because it's criminality. No one wants to be a part of it. No one wants to live amongst it. And people are willing to do whatever it takes to make things safer. But if you're part of a social economic class, the likely chance of you being around it is just there.